Hello everyone, I'm Hengshuang, and I'm going to talk about our recent works on towards unified scene understanding, representation, operator, and framework. Building intelligent scene understanding systems is essential for the next generation of artificial intelligence systems. It is a fundamental tool for lots of disciplines, and it is beneficial to various potential applications, such as autonomous driving, robotics, surveillance system, augmented reality, and so on. In general, 2D images and 3D point clouds are the two most common data representations in our daily life. Design powerful image understanding and point cloud processing systems are two pillars of intelligent scene understanding, which enabling the system to understand and interact with the current status of the environment automatically. Scene understanding contains various research topics. Among them, one important problem is to capture the category information inside the scene. There are lots of objects and stuff in the shown cityscape scene. For semantic segmentation, the goal is to assign each pixel in the image a category label, while instances are indistinguishable, which means we cannot distinguish different objects with the same semantic category. For example, we cannot separate different cars in an image. For instance segmentation, approaches detect and segment every instance separately, but cannot deal with uncountable regions such as sky, road, or grass. In most application domains, we not only want to get things, but also infer the environment, that is the stuff. While for panoptic segmentation, both stuff and things are sought, and instances inside the scene are distinguishable. Formal panoptic segmentation methods adopt a heuristic match, where two separate networks are used to capture instance and semantic predictions. For example, as shown in the figure, mask RCNN and PSPNet are adopted to produce the instance and semantic logics separately. This will cause redundant computation for independent models. Some other methods, like UPSNet, adopts unified shared backbone to reduce the computation complexity, and develops novel panoptic header to reduce the conflict between predictions, as well as generate consistent estimations. However, the inputs to the panoptic header are semantic logics and instance logics, which are harvested through separate semantic header and instance header. They are formulated in different ways, and their representations are thus different. According to the definition, things and stuff are defined differently. Such researchers develop separate representations for each of them. On one hand, different instances with the same semantic are expected to have distinguished features for things separation, which is called instance awareness here. On the other hand, the expected features of stuff are contradictory or even contrary to things. For stuff, we expect pixels at different positions, but with the same semantics to predict the same result, which is called semantic consistency here. To address the conflict, we propose a method named panoptic FCN, which formulates both things and stuff into unified representations. The entire network is fully convolutional, so we named it as panoptic FCN. There are no complex post-processing steps in the structure. Instead, it adopts a simple idea of generating convolutional kernels, and learn segmentation workflow. To be specific, this framework respectively encodes things and stuff into their specific convolution kernels, and predicts the final result of each thing or stuff by convolving with high-resolution features directly. In this way, both instance awareness and semantic consistency can be satisfied. And we use specific convolution kernel for each object, but utilizing the identical convolution kernel to encode the semantic category for final prediction. In the top part of the illustration, we adopt a kernel generator to generate the required kernels. And in the bottom part, we utilize feature encoder to generate high-resolution feature maps which contains rich details. Among them, the kernel generator contains two branches, namely position header and kernel header. The position header is used to produce the central point of the foreground object and predict the position of the background region, while the kernel header is used to provide the kernel map. Therefore, after obtaining the predicted object center or background region, we can directly extract the corresponding convolutional kernel from the generated kernel map. Moreover, the kernel fusion is used to obtain unique convolutional kernels of each scene or staff, and these fused kernels can be directly applied to the obtained high-resolution feature map to get the final output. To sum up, in panoptic FCN, we use convolutional kernel to encode or represent scenes and staff at the same time, thus performing a unified representation manner. We conduct experimental evaluations of various datasets. On the COCO validation set, we get the highest panoptic segmentation quality, outperforming various previous box-based and box-free methods. At the same time, our method also shows nice performance regarding inference time. Similarly, on the other datasets like cityscapes and maquinary vistas, our method also attains the leading performance, which demonstrates its effectiveness and generality. Here are some visual predictions on the COCO dataset. We can see the predictions are very close to the ground truth. And also, our method can get detailed and fine predictions on other datasets like cityscapes. Apart from building unified representations for scenes and staff, we then investigate unified operator for scene understanding in different dimensions. Convolution operator is the basic operator for modern convolute. It was developed 30 years ago and is powerful. Well, it is content non-adaptive, which means for different inputs, same filters are applied. For instance, for different input images, we adopt same convolutional filters. And for different positions in a certain image, we still use the same filters. Recently, self-attention-based methods like transformer have largely advanced the development of NLP field. Here, we focus on developer role operators for image understanding. At present, many self-attention mechanisms are global self-attention, which suffer from huge computations and memories. So we focus more on local self-attention, and our experiments show that global self-attention is not necessary, and local self-attention are sufficient. Compared to global self-attention mechanism, the computational complexity of local self-attention is largely reduced, and even for features with large resolution, the computation cost is still acceptable. For feature in neural networks, it can be processed in two ways. The first is feature transformation, where linear and nonlinear piecewise mappings are used. The second is feature aggregation, like convolution, where labels are involved. Here we show the general formulation of self-attention operation. Function F is for width computation, and function beta is for feature transformation. Ri is a local footprint. Our self-attention has two types. One is pairwise self-attention, considering relationships between paired features. Here our width computation function F can be decomposed into relation building function dash and attention mapping function gamma. And we have different destinations like summation, subtraction, calculation, Hartman product, and dot product. Our another self-attention is patchwise self-attention. Different from previous pairwise self-attention, here relation function that works on the whole local footprint. And similarly, we have three different destinations like star product, kinetic product, and concatenation. With these self-attention operators, we can construct self-attention blocks as in the left part. And we can stack multiple kinds of self-attention blocks to build a self-attention networks, as shown in the right table. The whole structure is fully based on self-attention, without convolution. We conducted experiments on the ImageNet dataset. Our STEM models can match or outperform the convolutional baselines with similar or low parameters and flows, and our proposed vector attention is better than traditional scalar attention. We further tested the performance of STEM on adversarial samples. For attack success rate in the blue box, lower is better, and for top 1 accuracy in the red box, higher is better. The results show that our self-attention models are much more robust than convolutional networks. 3D scene understanding is also very important. Point clouds can be easily captured by hardware equipment like lidar and depth sensor, while 3D point clouds are unworded and scattered in 3D space. They are essentially sets, and conventional convolutions are not applicable. Learning-based approaches to processing 3D point clouds can be classified into the following types. For processing irregular inputs like point clouds, an intuitive way is to transform irregular representations to regular ones. Considering the success of 2D convolution, some approaches adopt a multi-view projection, where 3D point clouds are projected into various image planes. Then 2D convolutions are used to extract feature representations in these image planes, followed by multi-view feature fusion to form the final output representations. An alternative approach to transforming irregular point clouds to regular representations is 3D vectorization, followed by convolutions in 3D. When applied naively, this strategy can incur massive computation and memory cost due to the cubic growth in the number of voxels as a function of resolution. Rather than projecting or quantizing irregular point clouds onto regular grids in 2D or 3D, researchers have designed deeper network structures that engage point clouds directly, as sets embedded in continuous space. Apart from the above-mentioned solutions, here we raise the question, are there any more natural and powerful ways to process 3D point clouds? The answer is yes. We developed a basic operator with constructed backbone named point transformer for various 3D tasks, including but not limited to shape classification, object path segmentation, semantic scene segmentation, and so on. Self-attention is intrinsically a set operator, such no regular grids are needed as in convolution. Positional information is important and provided as attributes of elements that are processed as a set. Since 3D point clouds are essentially sets of points with positional attributes, the self-attention mechanism seems particularly suitable to this type of data. We thus developed a point transformer layer that applies self-attention to 3D point clouds. Here we show some comparisons between classical scalar attention and vector attention. Our point transformer operation is based on vector self-attention, and we use the subtraction relation and add a position encoding to both the attention vector and transform the features. Based on the point transformer operation, we design a highly expressive point transformer layer for point cloud processing. The layer is invariant to permutation and cardinality, and is thus inherently suited to point cloud processing. Based on the point transformer layer, we construct high-performing point transformer networks. These networks can serve as general backbone for 3D scene understanding. The shown figure demonstrates our framework. For 3D semantic parsing, we adopt an encoder-decoder structure. The main module for information aggregation is the point transformer layer. Given input point clouds, our network processes with MLP layer, point transformer layer, transition down, and transition up modules. For 3D shape classification, the figure demonstrates the processing pipeline. With the network encoder, the final output would be the predicted label. We give more detailed module design in this figure, including point transformer block, transition down and transition up modules. We conduct experiments on various tasks and datasets. For instance, for semantic segmentation task on S3DS, we get the best performance on area 5 and the 6-flow cross-validation setting. Our approach outperforms previously predominant methods like TP-count and sparse count by a large margin for more than 3 points regarding mean IOU. For shape classification on modernized 40 datasets and part segmentation on shapenized part datasets, our point transformer also gets the highest performance on both of them. Here we list the visual predictions. We can see that the predictions are very close to the ground truth. Point transformer captures detailed semantic structure in complex 3D things, such as the legs of chairs, the outer lines of post borders, and the trim around doorways. Here are more visual predictions for shape retrieval and object part segmentation. For shape retrieval, the leftmost figures are the input queries, and the following are the returned results. The retrieval shapes are very similar to a query, and when they differ along aspects that we perceive as less semantically salient, such as legs of desks. For object part segmentation, the top part is a ground truth, and the bottom part is a prediction. The point transformer's part segmentation predictions are clean and close to the ground truth. Modern scene understanding systems can perform relatively well on both 2D images and 3D point clouds, while the research in joint reasoning of 2D and 3D is underexplored. A system that can preserve the world through multiple sensors might be able to learn without requiring massive datasets, and might bring surprising performance improvements. For example, 2D images have fine-grained texture, while 3D point clouds contain plentiful geometric information. Single 2D semantic segmentation suffers from lacking geometric information, and single 3D semantic segmentation suffers from low-quality texture. These two domains information is complementary, and joint reasoning over 2D and 3D visual domains can benefit both 2D and 3D scene understanding simultaneously. To fully utilize the information from different domains, we propose to bidirectionally interact and fuse 2D and 3D features with a bidirectional projection network, named BPNet. By doing so, the information inside these two visual domains can flow bidirectionally at the network architecture level to combine the complementary information from both 2D and 3D scene understanding. Our BPNet contains two symmetric U-shaped networks to process 2D and 3D data simultaneously. At the decoder stage, we bidirectionally interact the features between 2D and 3D networks by our proposed bidirectional projection module. This interaction is performed at multiple pyramid levels. Doing so can harvest both low and high resolution features in these two domains. Finally, both 2D and 3D semantic labels are predicted. Here we show the experimental evaluation results of 3D semantic segmentation on a Skynet dataset with joint reasoning over both 2D and 3D domains. Our BPNet gets the highest performance on this benchmark. Similarly, our method also ranks in the first place on 2D semantic segmentation benchmark, outperforming other methods by a big margin. Here are some visual predictions with the 3D or 2D only baseline networks. As shown in the second column, 3D only network cannot distinguish the boundary between the backpack and the floor, as well as the boundary between the pictures and the wall. This is because the input 3D textures are too coarse. That makes it harder to correctly predict semantic labels, only depends on the 3D geometry. With the proposed bidirectional projection module, which integrates the high-quality textures from 2D images. Our method can better segment them. Here is a comparison on 2D scenarios. Our BPNet not only distinguishes backpack from the floor correctly, but also segments shape boundaries from the chair and the table. It is because the underlying geometric cues provided by 3D information. In summary, to construct unified scene understanding systems, first, we propose panoptic FCN for unified representations between objects and stuff. Then, we propose self-attention-based methods named sum and point transformer for unified operators between 2D and 3D. Lastly, we propose BPNet for unified frameworks aiming at joint reasoning across different domains. Thanks for your attention.